Hello, my name is Vanessa and welcome to our virtual yoga class. I'm here to support you and guiding you in your practice. So we'll begin today by laying on our backs. Please take your time. Lay on your back, stretching your legs out, adjusting yourself, inviting a breath, inhaling here and exhaling, sighing out. Your yoga practice begins right now. You're shifting your attention to your breath. You're scanning your body, perhaps noticing your neck, shoulders, down to the hips, ankles, and toes. I suggest inviting a full body breath, inhaling and exhaling, sighing out. This is the deep breath you can go back to throughout your day. So throughout the class, we're going to reacquaint ourselves with our deep, long breath, shifting our focus continuously to our breath to support us as we're working on our physical, mental, emotional bodies, connecting them, as well as more explicitly in our physical practice, our balance, our strength, our flexibility. This is a holistic yoga practice, and your breath is your focusing tool. Notice the quality of your breath without judgment. Belly and rib cage expand on your inhale. Three more breaths here. See if you can focus on 3 consecutive breath cycles. Inhaling and exhaling as one round. And notice your second and third breath cycle. It takes practice to invite that stillness. At any point, inhale, exhale, side out. And then we'll lift our arms up overhead. Invite a full body stretch. You can interlace your fingers here, separate your shoulder blades, lengthen your arms. You can point your toes. You can purposely lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling. Gentle stretch here to wake up the body. You can flex your feet, point your toes, lift your abdomen. You can soften your back onto the floor. And then once you take in another breath here or two, we'll release our hands and bend both feet. Your feet are about hips width distance apart, meaning your feet aren't going to be to the edges of your mat. We want them to come a little bit closer so they're in line with your hips. Palms on the floor. We're going to lift your hips just a few inches off the floor. You're placing some weight on your heels, starting to notice an activation there in the glutes and the quads, a release around the lower back and the tailbone. This is creating body awareness. It's one of the purposes in our class. Becoming more aware of our bodies as we move through the poses. Here we're preparing for our bridge pose. Let's release our hips back down towards the floor. Take one breath. And then the second round, we're going to lift our hips a little higher than the first round. You're not lifting your hips as high as you can, not yet. We will in the next round. Right now, you're just lifting a little higher, noticing a different type of strength here in the glutes and the quads. Once again, placing attention to your heels, distributing some weight there. And now release your hips. Inhale. Exhale. On this next round, we're going to lift our hips as much as we can. That means we're grounding through our toes, our heels. We're lifting our abdomen up towards the ceiling. Your glutes and quads are very active. There's a gentle stretch throughout your abdomen, even your quads. You want to make sure you're lifting as high as you can. And we have a tendency to collapse a little bit, so make sure you're lifting as high as you can. Hold. Holding the pose, but you're not holding your breath. And now release your hips back down towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Next round, this time you can either keep your palms onto the floor or you can interlace your fingers, draw your shoulder blades closer together. It's going to give you some more lift. Once again, practice lifting your hips as high as you can. Inhale. Exhale. You have access to that full diaphragm breathing. Your belly can fully expand in this pose. Lift your hips as high as you can. Distribute your weight around the edges of your feet, to your heels, to your toes. And release. Both feet float off the floor. We grab our knees with our hands. Ground your spine, forehead towards your knee. Hold your chin towards your chest. I'm going to get that stretch in the upper back and the neck. And I'll drop your head back. We're going to rest our right ankle right on top of our left thigh. Now, you can place your right ankle or your right shin. And then weave your right hand between your legs. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Now, you can hang in here or purposely bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest. You're breathing into your boundary here. Let that right hip sink. Noticing a stretch in the right hip. Anywhere between 3 to 5 full breaths. Remain here. 3 to 5 full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your thigh closer towards your belly and release. Feet float off the floor. Round your spine, forehead towards your knee. Hands onto the knees. Hold. And I'll drop your head back. This time, opposite side. Rest that left ankle or shin on top of your thigh. Leave your left hand between your legs. You're focusing on your left hip here. Hips tend to be very tight. Breathe into your hip. You're focusing on your left hip. You can always just hang in here or purposely bring your thigh closer towards your belly, your chest. Bring your attention back to the breath. See how that breath can assist you as you're working on your flexibility here. Notice where that natural boundary is. Breathe into that boundary. 3 to 5 more breaths here. And after another breath here, start to release, round your spine, forehead towards your knee, hands to your knees, and now go ahead and roll upwards. We are adjusting here, lengthening both legs out in front. Now we haven't focused more on the hamstrings. We're going to go ahead and focus there. Increasing our body awareness here. First, let's lengthen our legs. You notice it have the tiniest little bend to your knees. Notice your posture. We need tendency to collapse our bodies. Go ahead and activate the core, slide the shoulders down. Notice your feet, notice the difference here. I mean, your feet are soft, and now flex your feet, pressing your heels forward, toes pointed towards you. You'll notice a stretch anywhere between calves, behind the knees, even affecting your hamstrings here. And then inhale here, on an exhale, fold. You're folding to honestly any point that's comfortable here. If you can preserve a long back, hands can reach anywhere, thighs, shins, or toes. Fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Use your breath to assist you as you work on your flexibility here. Three more breaths as you're folding here. You're cultivating awareness and stillness here as you're breathing into your hamstrings. You can also be noticing any other muscle group as well. This is affecting the lower back, down to the calves. And then release the pose here. We're going to transition into our forward fold. Ground your feet onto the mat. Now, as you fold over, please be mindful of your neck, your head. You want to relax. You don't want to crane your head up here. So it's a good practice here. When you're practicing releasing your torso, releasing your neck, yet your legs, your feet remain grounded and active. Hands can reach anywhere. Toes, you can grab your elbows with your hands here. We're going to drop our hands and roll up slowly. Head is going to come up last. Practice that physical sensation of letting go. Your arms dangle. Your spine slowly lengthens. Notice any pressure there in the lower back or up the spine. Eyes closed or open, or shoulders are drawn down. We're going to inhale here, exhale, side out. Bring your arms out to a T. Now when your arms come out to a T, we're going to keep our hips square towards the front, twist towards the right. You're looking over that right hand. And now come back to center. Twist towards the left. Now you're looking over your left hand. Come back to center. Release your hands. Interlace your fingers. So your fingertips are interlaced. Lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Then lift your chin. It can be subtle. Now I'm purposely bringing my shoulder blades closer together. So I'm lengthening my elbows. Shoulder blades move closer towards each other. Bend your knees, fold all the way down to a forward fold. Soften your neck, your head here. And now hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway up, 3 rounds. So your back is flat here. Exhale, release, your neck is soft. Second round. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, third round. After that third round, your choice, you can roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. Hands in front of your heart center or hands framing your hips. Let's take one breath here. Release your hands. Let's lift our arms up. We're going to come into an extended mountain pose. So an extended mountain pose, your arms radiate forward, palms facing each other. Now your arms are active. Chest is open, lengthening throughout the torso, opening the shoulders and chest. Hold here. And then dive down, sweeping your arms down, lifting your tailbone as you fold down into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, third round. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, third round. After that third round, please be intentional in how you come up to standing. Make this your practice. Anytime we're lifting up to standing, gather yourself. You're gathering your breath, welcoming this present moment. We're cultivating that present moment awareness throughout the class, continuously from one moment to next. So let's breathe here. And exhale. Release. Release your hands. Let's lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. Let's lift our heels halfway or all the way up. Hold. Shoulders are drawn down. Keep your gaze steady. Gaze is steady. So as we practice a steady gaze, it's also a practice of supporting a steady mind. When we're busy or thinking a lot, the eyes tend to flicker around. Right now we're giving ourselves that experience of a steady gaze. And by the steady breath as well, release your hands. You can pedal your feet back and forth. We're going to prepare for a warrior three, taking our right foot back a foot or 2 feet. And we're going to anchor down through that left foot. Now our hands will come up in front of our heart center. You float that right foot just a few inches or a foot off the floor. Remain here if you want to explore some core strength there. You want to continue exploring the pose. You want to dip your chest so that eventually your chest and your leg are parallel to the floor. Different positions here with your hands, your arms. Keep your gaze steady at a point on the floor. Now this requires a lot of strength, core, glutes, and quads. You're opening the hips and glutes as well. There's a lot going on here. Balance and strength. We welcome a powerful breath here. Always feel free to step in or out of the pose here. And now release both hands onto the floor. Now when you release your hands, check your fingers so they're right beneath your shoulders. Lift your right leg as high as you can. This is our standing splits. Be mindful of your neck, your head, relax. The right foot meets that left foot. Hands to shins. Just inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, soften your neck. Second round, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release. Third round, inhale halfway up. After this third round, be intentional how you come up to standing. Same thing with your mountain pose. Your mountain pose can be an expression with hands framing your hips, or hands in front of your heart center. Invite a restorative breath, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Release your hands. Let's lift our arms up overhead, palms up towards the ceiling. We lift our heels halfway or all the way up, inviting a steady gaze on a point across the room or floor, as well as a steady breath. Noticing that paradox of the fluctuations here. There's a paradox of stillness and movement at the same time. Feel into your body. Remember that breath unites the physical, mental, emotional body. Release your fingers, release your feet, pedal your feet back and forth here. We're preparing for warrior three. This time opposite side. We're going to take our left foot out a few inches or foot behind us. Start to anchor through that right foot, moving very slowly at your own pace, stepping in or out of the pose. You lift your foot a few inches off the floor. Always have the option of remaining here. Or you can take your hands in front of your chest and then dip your chest further. The left leg and chest are parallel to the floor. Different expressions here with your hands or arms. You can always bring your arms out like an airplane. You can bring your arms out like a superhero. You can keep your hands in front of your heart center. You're sinking into that right hip. Lots of balance and strength here. Take generous breaths. Notice this pose takes open hips from quads and glutes. 4. Start to drop your hands onto the floor, making sure your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Lift your lifted leg as high as you can. Drop your neck and head, and drop your belly towards your thigh. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Both feet from the ground. 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up. After those 3 rounds, release the pose. Your choice how you come up to standing. Be intentional. Make this your opportunity to reset, to gather your breath. Hands in front of your chest or hands framing your hips. We'll take a breath, practicing that inner stillness. We'll take a breath of the day we've had so far. A breath for this moment. And then a breath for the rest of our day. We're practicing that long now, that long present moment. We're going to seal the standing portion of the class with the sun salutation. Let's lift our arms up overhead, extending through the spine, lifting our arms. Exhale, bend your knees, fold down, forward fold. Soften your neck. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Step back into a plank pose. Your hands are right beneath your shoulders. Legs are long. Hold the pose here. You're lifting your core. Glutes are engaged. We're remaining here a little longer than we usually do. Now release down towards the floor. Same thing with your upward facing dog. Let's remain there an extra breath there or 2. Hands are beneath your shoulders, elbows close to your torso. Press through your palms. So my shoulders are away from my ears. Chest is open. Tops of the feet are on the floor. And engage your glutes for some support. Now curl your toes. Downward facing dog. Pedal your feet back and forth in your down dog. Remember to press through those palms for support. By pedaling our feet, we bend one knee more than the other. And then after a few moments there, release your knees onto the floor. Check your hands from downward facing dog. Sometimes our hands are a bit forward. You want to shift your hands so they're directly beneath your shoulders. Inhale into a cow pose, lifting your tailbone. Exhale, round your spine to your cat pose. A few times with your breath. Start to come back to a neutral position. Press that left palm onto the floor. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. And release. Opposite side, lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Release. Now lift your left leg, bend your left knee, stack your hips to the left and hold. Release your knee onto the mat. Opposite side, lift your right leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release your knee onto the floor. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, halfway up, or lift all the way up into your cow. Exhale, round your spine. Lift your right leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release that knee onto the floor, opposite side, lift your left leg, bend your knees, stack your hips. Release that knee. We're going to go ahead and shift, lengthening our legs out. Well, actually not lengthening, we're gonna keep our feet onto the floor. We're gonna prepare for a boat pose. So in our boat pose, you have two options. For extra support, take your hands behind your thighs. Otherwise, lift your palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your legs as high as you can. So your body's gonna tilt backwards a little bit. You're lengthening your legs as much as you can here. Inhale, exhale. Lots of core strength here. And release, lengthen your legs. We're going to bend our right knee, take our left arm out, twist towards the right. So as we twist, be active, meaning that we're purposely lengthening our spine, purposely shifting our chin towards our right shoulder, and also purposely flexing that left foot, pressing it towards the front. So a lot going on here. Invite a comfortable breath. It's harder to take deep, long breaths in this pose. Our belly cannot fully expand here. And now release. Opposite side, bend your left knee. Take a deep belly breath here. And now take your right arm out, twist towards the left. Find a comfortable breath. Chin moves towards your shoulder. Right foot is flexed. Spine is long. Inhale. And exhale. Release. Bring both soles of the feet together. We're going to fold over. You can rest your elbows behind the creases of your knees here. Inhale. And exhale. Lift your chest forward. And then release. We'll lengthen our legs out in front and then start to prepare to lay down. Palms up towards the ceiling, chin towards your chest. You're going to hover here. Make sure your chin moves towards your chest. Protect your neck. And now drop your head back. Gather a breath. Inhale here. Exhale, side out. Feel free to hear your inhale and exhale. Soften down the neck to the spine, to your toes. A little mini three breath shavasana here. welcome the stillness in your body. And now bend your right knee. Take your hands to that right knee. Round your spine, forehead towards your knee, and then drop your head back. Second round, lift your forehead up towards your knee, draw it down. And then third round, lift your forehead up towards your knee, and then drop your head back down. 3 rounds, opposite side. And then after that third round, drop your head on the floor, grab your feet with your hands. You can lengthen both legs as much as you can here. You can bend both knees. Take whatever stretch you need here. A final stretch around the ankles, heels, and toes. Down calves, hamstrings, glutes, hips, lower back. You can even rock a little bit to the right and to the left here. And then after you've taken a few moments there, you can start to prepare now for the last resting pose of the class. Our Shavasana, legs are long, palms, frame your hips facing the ceiling. This is a pose that teaches us the wisdom of doing nothing, noticing that in stillness, we are given the opportunity to release, to let go, to receive, and to integrate our practice. You can welcome deep, long breaths or go back to your breath's natural rhythm, any combination here. Soften your forehead and jaw, neck, down to your shoulders. Down the length of your spine, releasing around the upper back, mid back, lower back to your hips, behind the knees, ankles, and toes. start to shift our attention back to our breath, inviting a generous and leisurely inhale and exhale. Restore some movement to your fingertips and your toes. You have the option of inviting a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead, pointing your toes. You can turn your body to the side, allowing your body to relax and soften. Once again, returning to a generous and leisurely breath. This is a very particular type of breath, the breath of no hurry, nourishment, fulfillment. And then after your next breath, start to release the pose. We'll transition into our seated position. We've been practicing self-awareness and presence throughout the class, so go ahead and let your seat be a demonstration of that. Make any changes to come into more integrity in your seat. And what I mean by integrity is just some more awareness, noticing of maybe habits of how we position our body, and then being more intentional about lifting our spine or drawing our shoulders down. And so we'll seal our meditation, our holistic yoga class with a breath, noticing that as we welcome our breath, we're welcoming our experience. With all the love and compassion there is, let's take our hands in front of our heart center. Let's inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me is the highest in you.